Hey, everybody, and thank you for joining us for the latest iteration of Culture Shock, brought to you by the Elite Podcast. I'm excited. I'm extremely excited because we've got a whole new crew here. We've got a crew from the island country of Ireland, and I'm thrilled. We've got Creepy Bananas, which you guys have met previously. We've got a new guest, Baron McBoom Boom. Both streamers on the Elite, both great guys, Irishmen. Guys, would you like to say hello?
Howdy.
Oh yeah.
There you go. I think Barons was more believable as an Irishman. You sounded like a Western American. Howdy.
Spending too much time with Foops.
Yeah,
Right?
spend too much time with Americans.
That's what most of the country says, that they spend too much time with us. Or most of the world, I would say. So in terms of
No comment.
what do you think of Yankees?
We'll wait to get to know each other a bit better first.
I love it when I went there. So I do visit Ireland. I do like going over there. I do notice that no matter where you are from in the States, they call you Yank. And it's funny because only people north of the Mason-Dixon line are technically Yankees. So I find it interesting that doesn't matter. If you're an American, you're a Yankee. What can you tell me about the world's perception of Ireland?
I think they just think we get drunk all the time.
That's
half true, I imagine.
Yeah, that goes into the stereotypes or tropes of it all. But you guys actually, when I was over there, I realized you have a very strict drinking and driving policy. Like, I think, what is it, 0?
Yeah,
you can't have any?
Pretty much zero tolerance. There's I think you can have like half a glass if you're not a professional driver.
Yeah.
But it's basically zero tolerance.
And that's amazing to hear because, over here in the States, no. I mean, you could pass the breathalyzer with a beer an hour. And over there, when we visit, it's a lot more strict. So I find that interesting with the drinking stereotype. But so you have the stereotypes. What on a world scale, on a political scale, on a fiscal scale, where does Ireland stack up with respect to other countries near you?
Well, we're fucking expensive anyway.
Yeah.
Rip off Republic.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Expensive with everything? All amenities?
Everything. Like just the cost of living in general. It's massive. Like I mean, just speaking personal experience, granted I haven't smoked now in about 2 years or so, but I think last I heard a pack of cigarettes now is more than €20, I think.
Wow.
For a pack of 20 cigarettes. It's about what, €5-6 for a pint.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking like €1 for a loaf of bread, €2 for a 2 liter of milk.
So then your sin tax is really high. So like in New York City, for example, the price of cigarettes go up and up and up. And I when I was in Ireland at the time, I was smoking, and I noticed that the price of cigarettes were insane. That's why we got them at the duty-free shop coming by instead.
Yeah.
So that's crazy to think about. Okay, so it's expensive. It's expensive. On a political scale, what do you guys have to say about your government? What do you like?
James?
What do you like? What do you dislike?
Am I the political man? Am I?
More than I fucking am anyway.
They're a bunch of clowns, really.
The same the world over.
They're clowns.
They're just overpaid. Don't give a shit about anything but their bottom line.
Like most politicians.
Exactly. It's the same the world over. Like politicians are politicians. They're only in it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's like recently with all the pandemic and the lockdowns, our newest prime minister, or Taoiseach as we call them, Micheál Martin, it's become a meme now that every time he makes a public announcement about the pandemic, he says, just 6 more weeks and everything will be fine. And it's like, it's been like, what, 4 or 5 months?
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a manager in a job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what was it? We were waiting after our last lockdown. We were waiting months, or was it during the first? At some point, then we were waiting months and months, and they were saying that there was going to be a big announcement over our procedures going forward and loosening of the lockdown and all this shit. And basically, the whole nation was watching this fucking moron come up on stage, and essentially all he did was go, "Yeah, nothing really much is going to change. Sure, you know yourselves, lads." And that was it.
Pretty much.
Sounds promising.
Yeah.
Yeah, the political system in Ireland is a joke, like pretty much everywhere, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's just dependent on, is it more of a joke than others or whatever. So
I don't.
I mean, it's.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's the same. It's rotating between the same two parties for the most part for the last fucking 100 years. It's either Fianna Fáil or Fine Gael, and it just rotates between the two of them. Sinn Féin are in there as well, but they are pretty much just a laughing stock. They actually won our last general election, and Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael were like, "Yeah, no, we're still in charge."
pretty much.
Jeez.
And it's basically like the two parties would be similar to America, like the Republicans, and yeah.
Interesting. Now, like what I meant, like with the world scale, I know that previously, not so much now, with the United States, even because of Joe Biden's presidency, you don't hear him as much versus Trump. Who was the last political official that you guys could remember was in the news for a lot of controversy, made fun of by maybe other European nations, etc.?
Well, back again to Micheál Martin.
Oh.
Remember, start of this year. He was asked if he was invited, would he go over to the States for Paddy's Day? In the middle of this pandemic, and they're telling everyone you can't even leave your fucking house. And he's like, oh, of course I'd go if I was invited.
Yeah.
Seems blind and ignorant to what's going on in his own country.
Yeah.
Crazy. What's it like with the pandemic? You guys are, I know it's a little bit stricter, so you guys had stay-at-home orders and like stay away from people completely by how many feet or something?
Yeah, 6
Pretty
feet.
much. I mean, we spent more time under house arrest basically in the last year and a half than we have out.
Yeah, than if you were to commit a crime.
Up until recently, like the eased restrictions for Christmas, people could go out and buy their stuff for Christmas and see some of their family. But as soon as Christmas finished, then the cases went skyrocketing high. They basically shut everything down, and you couldn't leave within 5 kilometers of your home, basically.
Wow.
Unless you had like worked in something that was essential and you were allowed to.
Okay. Yeah. Much more strict. Let's talk about a little bit about, like I said before, the stereotypes and the drinking and whatnot. What are some funny stereotypes you do hear about the Irish? Which ones of them are true and which ones of them are complete bullshit?
I mean, I guess we need some examples. Leprechauns aren't real, right?
No. Can we go into that a little bit?
Although, well, again, having said that, look at Michael D. Higgins, our fucking president.
Yeah.
He pretty much is a leprechaun.
Well, the drinking thing. I mean, how much is it part of the Irish culture? Like throughout the weeks, throughout the months. I mean, is the pub something that's enjoyed? I mean, you guys start drinking at a much earlier age than us.
Yeah, it is definitely part of our culture. I mean, it's like there's this conception where we're all a bunch of fucking drunks, which obviously isn't true.
Right.
But
we do like
alcohol is definitely a big part of, like, I mean, any kind of family gathering. There's alcohol involved. Weddings, funerals, fucking baptisms, christenings. Oh, don't even get me started on that lot. But
even funerals sometimes are the best parties you've ever go to.
Yeah,
seriously,
especially if you hated the person.
But I'm not sure if it's an Irish thing or if it's worldwide. But the whole idea of a wake being a celebration of that person's life.
Yeah, so we do that.
Everybody just gets hammered.
Yeah, we do that. That's why you see everybody in all black and then gold champagne. You're like the juxtaposition matches, I guess, because if you're getting crunk, Aunt Nelly ain't waking up, so she ain't having any.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, that's all I really heard. I mean, the only other thing is the love for spuds. Every town's like Killarney. And the drinking thing. And I'm assuming that
fucking hate potatoes.
Potatoes. Tell me about, so this is another thing. I talked to Creepy about this. He made fun of me, but I had a friend who dated this girl from Ireland. And she was telling him, like, hey, there's two languages. There's Irish and there's Gaelic. And I was like, no, there's only Gaelic. Gaelic is the language. And then there's English. Nope, there's Irish and there's Gaelic. What would you say to somebody ignorant enough to say that to you about the Irish language?
So, Was it your buddy who went out with an Irish bird was telling you there's two languages, Irish and Gaelic?
Yeah, the girl said to him that there's Irish and Gaelic, 2 languages. And he told me, and I told Creepy, all excited, and he laughed at me.
Yeah, she saw him coming a mile away.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean,
Maddie-
there's English and there's Irish, and Irish. Fuck Irish.
Why do you say that?
Oh, God, here we go.
Go on, Barry.
We definitely want to hear
The
it.
Irish language is. Now, this is my personal opinion. Obviously, I'm not speaking for the whole nation. There are
Right.
people who would disagree with me. But the Irish language is a complete waste of fucking money. The government spends about 170 million a year on the Irish language, just printing documents in duplicate, giving funding for people to go live in special Irish-only areas. It's completely pointless once you leave school. And despite that, your entire education relies on you learning this dead language in an archaic form. They teach you the language as if it's your first language rather than teaching it as what it is, a foreign language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's when you're leaving secondary school, which would be high school in America, you have to sit a leaving cert exam, and that determines your college placements. It's arguably the most important examination you'll take in your life. If you fail English or Irish, or English or maths, you have to resit your entire leaving cert examination. That's perfectly understandable. You need them in everyday life. If you fail Irish, you have to resit your entire leaving certificate examination.
What?
And that is nonsense, because the
Mhm.
only times you will ever need Irish once you leave school is if you want to be an Irish teacher.
Oh my god.
Well, a teacher in general as well. Like, if you want to be a primary school teacher, you have to sit exams in Irish.
Oh, that's fair enough. But
Yeah.
just that, it's the same general.
Yeah, basically, if you want to be a
Oxymoron.
teacher, yeah,
If you want to perpetuate the fucking stupidity of the system,
yeah, it goes in a circle.
is the only time you'll ever need Irish.
They teach you Irish to become a teacher, to teach the
The
stupid
next
language.
generation,
Yeah.
Those bullshit cyclical teachings.
Yeah, and your entire education relies on it.
It's
Not only
bullshit.
that, but Irish is extraordinarily hard to learn.
Yeah.
Like, it's a really hard language.
It is. It makes. I mean, obviously there is some sense behind the language. About 2,000 years ago, when it would have been fucking come up with. But I mean, a lot of any modern Irish word is just that word with an accent.
Yeah.
Like the Irish word for telephone is telephone. The Irish word for car is car. Whereas the Irish word for the seaside is Coshfarraga.
Right. So
Yeah,
based off of technology, just get modern with it.
Yeah. Although somehow they ended up with what is it? Orodoct or something like that for computer. I don't know how they landed with that one.
Orodoct.
I thought you said oligarch, but I understand. I got you.
But yeah, it's a difficult language to learn, and it is, in my opinion, completely worthless.
Yeah.
Your entire education should not rely on your knowledge of an archaic language that is no use to you.
Agreed. Unless you're just going to continue breeding teachers and continue the cycle into no prosperity for the country. Keep it up.
Yeah.
Interesting. I did not know that, but that's amazing to know. Sounds annoying. That's like without. I mean, we can learn Latin. I mean, I took Latin all throughout my school years because I went to Catholic school, and it's useful. I mean, there's a lot of prefixes and whatnot that help you understand words you don't know. But to learn an archaic language only local to one landmass for no other reason except to teach it seems ridiculous.
What?
Yeah.
There are like in the west of Ireland. There's I think you've been there, Maddie. You've come to Connemara. That's basically the only part of Ireland that you would go and you would see people speaking Irish.
Yeah,
For example, my mother's partner is from that area, and his first language was Irish. Believe it or not, and like when he met my mother, like his English was pretty bad because out there that's all they talk. They talk Irish.
Yeah.
But it's a bubble, and that's it. Just that area. once you go out that area, pretty much nothing.
Okay.
Mm.
I know that I heard it when I was in Limerick. I heard it in Dublin, believe it or not. And that's the two I got right now.
Mm.
Some girl yelled at me in Gaelic when I was in Dublin.
No, I doubt it. I'd say it was just a Dublin Scouse yelling at you and you thought it was Gaelic.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I swear I thought it was. It was the most. It sounded like somebody put a bunch of gum in her mouth, hit her in the face, and said, "Go yell at that guy."
Yeah, that's just a Dublin scumbag
That's just
accent.
Dublin, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, it was in the
Them
way.
in Limerick, and I mean, like when you think of like an Irish accent, you probably like, oh, to potatoes. But the reality is, I mean, I'm from this country and I cannot stand to listen to most inner city people speak.
Yeah.
It's the most disgusting nasal thing you've ever heard in your life.
Yeah, well, you guys do have different dialects, different language, or I'm sorry, different accents
Yeah,
based off
regional
of the area.
accents,
Regional, yeah.
Mm.
So, just like the States, I can understand that. It's not a one size fits all thing. In terms of like, defining Irish culture, what are some like 5 things that define it? Items, activities, meals. If I was to just be airdropped into Ireland, what are 5 things I would have to experience? There's nothing in Ireland, guys. You've heard it here first. There's nothing to experience.
I mean, cows, rocks, grass.
The simple places.
See that field? Go stand in it.
Yeah, like the history of Ireland, and I'm not talking the political history with the British and the founding of the Republic, and that's the most boring shite you'll ever hear in your life. But like the prehistoric history of Ireland, I think, is fascinating. From ancient Celtic times up to the medieval period, there's still to this day the country is, it's at the point, I was even discussing this with some Dutch friends of mine last Friday. There's so much archaeological monuments and megalithic tombs and stuff scattered around this country and castles that we don't even notice them anymore. It's just part of the scenery. And I was just explaining it to some of these Dutch lads. My drive, say, from my house, I live out in rural Limerick. If I was to drive from my house out to Limerick City, I'd drive past maybe 3 or 4 ruined castle towers or megalithic tombs or something.
Yeah.
And you just don't even notice them. They're just there, part of the scenery. The largest stone circle in the world is a 5-minute drive from my house.
Wow.
And you just never go there, never. And I'm actually interested in archaeology. It's just, I've been there, I've seen it. Okay, it's there. It's not going anywhere.
Right, it's part of the culture.
They're just built around these monuments,
Yeah.
So they become part of the background.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, that's where most of my photography came into play when I was there. Besides the nature, was the architecture and the, like you would say, the archaic, dilapidated buildings of yesteryear for you guys. So it's a lot of history, which I think is beautiful. And of course, I just want to give you a quick anecdote. So, like as an American, I come over there, I have to kiss the Blarney Stone. It's just a thing. So I didn't realize when you get up there's a priest that would like watch you as they leaned you backwards over to kiss this thing with a tiny little metal grate underneath. And if you slipped the right way, it's lights out. I found that very interesting. And climbing up the castle, like they had those weird cylindrical steps that had no walk or like no guardrail at the time I was there. Fucking terrifying. But
yeah, they probably still don't.
Right. But being inside of it, you could really appreciate the amount of, history you guys have with your architecture, and how things were built and how they let things stick around so you can have that cultural identity.
It's funny how tourists do those things, Baron. I've never done that.
I've never been to the Blarney Stone, but I have been to a lot of heritage sites around because, like, I am interested in that kind. Like, I went and studied archaeology about fucking 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I am interested in prehistory, and I've been to a lot of these sites. But I've never been to the Blarney.
Bunratty Castle.
Stop, sure. Out in Bunratty at least once a year.
To break things up, can you give me some Irish slang?
Well, ashtap is one of them anyway.
Ashtap.
Ashtap.
I suppose the most common one that most Americans and foreign people come over is crack.
Like, what's the crack?
What's the
crack,
crack?
boy? What's the
Any
crack?
crack? Yeah.
Does that pretty much mean what's happening? Like, what's the news?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
How's it going? In
So,
that context, yeah, it's kind
if
of
you
like
said any crack, that's kind of like any news, what's going
Yeah.
on. And then if you're at a party or something, and then the next day you said to your mates, "Oh, that was so much crack." Or,
That has a different meaning in the big cities in the U.S.
That was good crack. I mean,
good crack, some crack. Yeah.
means like, yeah, it was good or whatever.
That was good crack. I'm gonna let
That was good crack.
Or the crack was mighty.
The crack was mighty.
we're gonna let the rehab center know there's a new term in town for the crack was mighty.
Yeah.
That's
No,
fantastic.
it's not the crack was mighty. The crack is mighty.
The crack is
Mighty.
mighty. Mighty.
Mighty.
Mighty.
Mighty.
Mighty. Phonetics lessons with Baron. I love it. What are some traditions of an Irish family? What did you guys grow up with? I know it's going to be different depending on where you live in the country, but do you guys have any specific traditions that are kept family to family?
I mean, one big, it's like the elephant in the room, really, that shaped this entire nation is Catholicism.
Yeah.
We basically were under the thumb of the church for, I mean, we still are, arguably, right
But
up
more-
to the 60s or 70s anyway. It was, I mean,
The condoms were illegal up until the late 80s.
Are you serious?
90s even?
Yeah.
Divorce wasn't legalized till the mid 90s.
What?
I'm sure we only legalized gay marriage there, what, about 3 or 4 years ago?
Yeah.
If it took that long to get condoms, I would think gay marriage would be in the 2,500 range.
Yeah.
It's in a lot of respects, it's still very backwards, and it all comes down to the Catholic Church.
Right.
Quite a sore topic sometimes with a lot of Irish families. Because it shapes like, I suppose maybe not so much mine and Baron's, but like our parents and our grandparents. Like my grandmother had 11 children because she had the children for the church, and she was a good Catholic woman and had lots of children.
Even aside from that, I mean, just the sheer atrocities that was committed by the church in this country is, but even they're still discovering them to this day. It was only a couple of years ago they found, I mean, this is a very dark topic, but they found literally a septic tank full of dead babies.
Wow.
In Tuam, wasn't it?
Tuam,
some building that used to be one of these homes for
the
wayward children. Yeah, basically, if a woman got pregnant out of wedlock, she'd be shipped off to one of these laundries, a workshop, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's a form of jail, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Like they'd be beaten, they'd have their children stolen off them. There's women and adults now who have no idea who their parents are, who their children are, whatever. These women would have their children, and they'd be told to go scrub the floors or something. They come back, their child would be gone. They'd have been sold off to some family or something. There'd be no records kept, no nothing.
Wow. And only because
that was widespread.
And this is all set up and institutionalized by the church.
Yeah. Run by the church. It was all priests and nuns running it.
It didn't, and the thing was, it didn't stop until only recently. Like these women were still in these laundries up until when? I suppose the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah,
which is crazy. Like,
and I mean the Christian Brothers then educating the youth. My father's told me some horror stories, getting the shit beat out of him by some asshole priest with a Harley because he couldn't recite his Irish vowels or something. Uncle of mine basically left school when he was 16. He basically stood up to one of the monks while he was beating him with a Harley. He took the Harley off him, beat the fucking monk with the Harley, ran out to school and never went back. But yeah, it honestly, it boggles my mind how, like, granted, I can understand why the older generation are still religious and Catholic in that, because that's just how they were brought up and literally had it beaten into them.
Right.
But it genuinely boggles my mind how many young people in Ireland are still religious, and I mean, not even religious, but still have faith in the Catholic Church as an institution. It boggles my mind.
Of course, like following that dogma.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't
Yeah.
seen anything ever like that. I mean, I did grow up in Catholic schools, and we've seen like the nun with the ruler on the fingers once in a blue moon. But to hear about the cultural, I would say, iconography of the Catholic Church on your end and how it was considered, I would say, a government entity almost. And there,
Practically.
yeah, so it gives me
Pretty much
these
like
dystopian vibes.
when we founded the Republic in, what was it, 1920
22.
odd,
Yeah.
they wrote up the Constitution and sent it off to Rome for the Pope to review it and sign off on it before they enacted it.
Oh, Jesus. Literally.
Yeah.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah.
Speaking of controversies, what's going on in Northern Ireland right now?
Things are they'll quieten down again. It's they started to look like they were going back to the troubles of when it was, in the fucking 70s and 80s or whatever.
You mean with the
But,
IRA?
yeah, it wasn't even so much the IRA this time. It was basically all sparked because a political party that kind of more represents Ireland up there called Fianna Fáil. No, yeah. Fianna Fáil? Is it? No, Sinn
Among
Féin.
the
Sorry.
Shinners.
Yeah,
Sinn Féin.
sorry. Sinn Féin. Who are actually kind of like a lot of them are ex-IRA.
Yeah.
Their
Yeah.
leader is as well. They all went to a funeral back when there was only like 20 people allowed because of restrictions with the pandemic. And basically the word got out that they went, like, there was a large gathering from this political party for this funeral, and things sparked up. Loyalists and stuff in Northern Ireland sparked up, and they wanted to wreak havoc. And by wreaking havoc, they threw petrol bombs at buses and the police, and yeah.
I mean, a lot of it nowadays, it's more just sheer fucking hooliganism. Like, these young fellas up there throwing petrol bombs now, they don't give a shit about the separation between Republic and the UK or anything like that. They're just little scumbags that were brought up swallowing this line. And these people are all over the country as well. Like, you often meet people, usually in the let's say lower socioeconomic areas, who just, they'd wander around the place chanting "ooh ah up the ra" and reunite Ireland and all this shit. And if you asked them to name the 6 counties that belong to the UK, they couldn't.
It-
Yeah, it's just an excuse for these people to cause trouble.
Yeah.
yeah, just a way to wild out. I mean, we see it now too in the States. I mean, I'm sure you guys have a lot of any of this violence that goes on. Some of it is for selfish reasons too. I mean, people jump on the bandwagon, don't even know what the fuck's going on. They just want to act out. So I can see it happening now for you guys too, especially with the evolution of social media and wanting to belong to something. People could just jump in on it and act out. Is there still like a pretty big cultural divide with Catholicism and Protestants? Is there like a strong hatred still ingrained there between the two?
I would say up north it would be a bit more.
Yeah, up north, absolutely, yes. There's still like, there's areas of Belfast City you go into, if you're not a Protestant or Catholic and you go into that, walk down the wrong street, you'd be lucky to get out with your life.
Really, yeah.
But in the Republic, no. Not in the least. Like, I've never encountered anything like that in my life.
To be honest, even in the troubles, like in the 70s with the IRA and the Unionists or whatever loyalists up there, it never really affected too much of the South.
Yeah.
Not that much.
Okay. Fair enough.
Which is funny because the IRA were fighting for the South, but the South were like, they were kind of like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Stop. We don't want it back.
Leave it alone.
I mean, that's even it. Like, I mean, if we did get the 6 counties back tomorrow, it would, aside from the trouble and the civil upheaval and whatever it would cause, it would fucking cripple us as a nation.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a massive
economically.
money sink. Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
it's a massive money sink for the UK. Like they spend billions on the north. The unemployment rate up in the north is huge.
Yeah.
So if we were to take that on, we'd all be fucking living in cardboard boxes in a month.
Makes sense. Yeah, it's an interesting way of looking at it. If you were to give advice, let's say somebody comes over there, and on a lighter note, a tourist, what would be some advice you would give to a tourist? Things not to do, things to spend their time taking in that maybe normally they wouldn't. But previously we talked about people coming over to the UK, to England, and we talked about like what not to do. Don't cut the line there. Don't fuck around with tea. What are some things tourists don't want to do in Ireland?
Walk down the wrong streets in Belfast.
That's what I got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really think of much of a what not to do.
When I was there, I drank. No joke. So I got so indoctrined into enjoying myself and living in the moment when I was in Dublin. Obviously, it's a big city, but we were staying at like one of the hotels there. The last time I was there, on one of the main drags, across from this huge McDonald's, I remember, and this hobo offered me some alcohol. And of course I took it, and he was like, he was showing me different street tricks, and his buddy was with them. I was like, is this motherfucker gonna take my camera? Is this a trick? But yeah, dude, and like an idiot, I drank it. He was like, that's a good yank. There you go.
Yeah, there you go, yank.
But of course, it's just a stupid shit I've done. Most
you
people
realize you
wouldn't do it.
probably drank hobo piss, right?
Maybe.
Oh no! Definitely.
You think I did? It tasted like
Well,
vodka.
there's definitely something in that fucking drink.
Probably Buckfast.
Yeah. Thank God I've gotten my blood tested, STD test since then, so I guess I'm okay. I don't have hepatitis, but
I mean, that's not even a stupid thing to do in Ireland. That's a stupid thing to do fucking anywhere.
Anywhere.
See, yeah, my perception was just don't do it in Ireland, but everywhere else. No, actually, if you were gonna do it, probably do it in Ireland. Don't do that in, like, I don't know.
I don't know. I suppose I would say don't try and not just only go to the really touristic things. Really go and try. I suppose.
I mean, I'd say avoid Dublin, to be unless there's a specific attraction you want to see in Dublin.
Go see
don't
it
fucking
and
go to Dublin, because like Dublin, I mean, personally, I don't like Dublin. It's fucking messy. It's loud. It's a fucking bastard to get in and out of.
Yeah.
I really don't like Dublin. Anytime I have to go to Dublin, I despise it. But like anything with it, obviously there are some main things that are only in Dublin. Like you got the zoo up in Dublin, you got Kilmainham Jail, and a few other big touristy spots in Dublin. But otherwise, you'd find them anywhere else in the country. Like you could go out drinking any Irish city, you'd have the same experiences you'd have in Dublin. Same like museums, tourist spots, whatever. Especially for an American coming over to Ireland, I'd say stay away from the cities. You have enough of them over in the fucking States. Just go along like the Wild Atlantic Way, or take some of the scenic drives around the coastline or something.
Right. Ring of Kerry.
Yeah, exactly. The Ring of Kerry, the Wild Atlantic Way, the one on the east as well, don't they? Some other scenic route on the east. I can't remember what it is now. But yeah, I mean, avoid the city.
Go on the Fáilte Ireland website and just don't go to Dublin.
Yeah.
Go
check out the Burren and all that kind of stuff.
You heard it here, folks, guys. You heard it here first. Forget
Fáilte
Dublin.
Fáilte Ireland, sponsor us.
The whole country of Ireland, guys. We just got a sponsor. But we'll never get Jameson or Guinness in Dublin now. So at least we got the whole country. So yeah, I did go to the Guinness and Jameson factories, of course, and I noticed that when I was done with the Jameson tour, they gave you a drink of Jameson to try, but it was an entire glass full of Jameson. And I was like, "That's a drink? Yeah, that's your drink. Okay, I guess I'll die of alcohol poisoning right here and there."
I did the Jameson tour myself a couple of years ago. I actually got I mean, obviously it's a touristy thing, but I have a certificate lying around here as a certified Irish whiskey taster.
Yep.
And I fucking hate whiskey. I went there as part. I was doing like an 8-week bar skills course with Walter Ireland, and they took us up to the distillery as a field trip. And the lads I was on the course with all knew that I hated whiskey, so they all volunteered me, of course, for the whiskey tasting at the end of the fucking tour.
That's what good friends do.
Yeah.
I mean, let me hear this. So if you guys were to stay there, I mean, if you have any place to live besides Ireland, I mean, what would your dream destination be? And would you consider holding on to your patriotism and staying in Ireland, or would you ever consider getting out?
I mean, I've lived outside of Ireland.
Yeah, of course, you lived
before.
in Spain.
Yeah.
Right. And did you, I mean, like, in terms of, like, if you guys have seen it or if you wanted to live or go visit somewhere, like, for example, if I had the option of, like, I loved Ontario when we visit, but I would never want to leave the States. So far, I haven't figured out if I'd ever become an expat, because I do love the country, for the most part. Are you guys like that, too? Do you have a special love in your heart for Ireland you'd never leave? Or if something came up, an opportunity, would you consider bouncing?
I mean, if I got a very good, career position somewhere else, like say the States or something, I'd probably move.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I have any special love for Ireland. It's just like what would give me pause is leaving your friends and your family and your life
Right.
to go set up somewhere new. I wouldn't exactly be like, oh, I can't leave fair old Ireland. She's been too good to me. My arse. I'd be gone in a shot if I didn't have things tie me, you know?
All right. Fair enough. So it's more of a love for the life, your family, your friends, etc. It's not necessarily love for the country.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. That's good to know. Now, in terms of being a content creator, what have you found being Irish that helps you? And besides your accent, is there anything else that helps you strive in the content creation world with your Irish nationality?
I mean, once I start striving, I'll let you know.
To be continued, guys, in episode 2. Thank you so much.
I don't know. I suppose, like, I think most of the Irish are very, like, just easygoing. Like, they'll talk to anybody. Do you know, that kind of way?
Yeah.
And they'll strike up a conversation with anybody. So I think that probably helps with content creation, where somebody comes into your chat and you're just like, how are you?
Yeah.
Like when Baron, like the first time I met Baron, it was around the time that
Sea of
I
Thieves.
I was playing Sea of Thieves. He was playing Sea of Thieves as well. He raided me, just by chance, that he was like, oh, I want to raid someone who's playing Sea of Thieves. And then I don't know, what did you say? You said something about Tato.
Yeah, I think someone in your chat was asking you what crisps you were eating, and you were like King Tato, and you held up the pack of King.
King
And I was
Tato,
like,
yeah.
it's no Tato at all. And then pretty much like as I was typing it, you asked me, "Is like, are you Irish?" I mean, I was in the chat for about 5 minutes or so, and I didn't pick up on your accent or anything at all.
Yeah.
And then it's just we had some exchange about Tato, and it just like clicked. We're like, "Holy shit, this guy's Irish."
There you go. Sponsored by Tato.
The good Tato. It's a small world. It's awesome when you can make relationships like that. So yeah,
this is just
So your friendliness, your demeanor, and obviously, like, people love unique accents to them. I mean, obviously to you it's normal, and I have an accent, so I think it's super cool that we're able to kind of come together in one unique dynamic, but have all these different backgrounds that entail us together for you guys. Like I said, the history, the culture, the architecture, the accent, etc., etc., and the friendly demeanor. Have you found any negatives, like content creation wise, time zones, people watching, anything like that, with being from Ireland?
Not as such, to be honest. Like I expected when I first started streaming that you get like a lot of British people, and other than that, you'd have a lot of like non-English speaking Europeans.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like I've nothing but good experiences from streaming. It's like some of my closest friends at the moment are lads I've never met before, and they're pretty much all Dutch. and I met them all through streaming.
Right.
I was playing Dungeon Keeper at the time, and I got raided by this fella, Sir Filthy Owl, and ended up getting chatting to him. And through him, I met Sig, who we all know,
Yeah.
and Mida, and a few other lads. And I mean, we're all like meeting up on a weekly basis to play nerd games together and shit. Like, and you know, I don't think I've, with the exception of the odd troll, which you just either ignore or fucking laugh at. I've no real bad experiences with streaming.
Very good.
Yeah.
Creepy, how about you? I know we talked about this on one of the first episodes of the podcast with bad experiences streaming, but have you ever experienced anything based off of your Irish nationality?
Yeah. Nothing negative anyway.
Right. I mean, what can people say now? I mean, you got like 3 jokes and that's it to tell the Irish.
3 jokes?
Like what can you say? You're drunk, you like potatoes, and I can't even think of a third one. Like, how can you really make fun of the Irish?
There's this apparently this misconception going around that it seems to be an American thing that Mick is like a racial slur against an Irish person, a Mick or a paddy.
Oh God.
And every time I see that, I laugh my ass off. I know about 3 Micks, and throughout my life, I mean, my grandfather was Paddy.
Yeah, it's actual names.
I've known about 3 or 4 lads who go by Paddy in my
Right.
life, and I know 3 or 4 Micks as well. I mean, I had one troll come at me before, and he was calling me a filthy Mick and all this shit, and I was like, no, I'm not Mick, I'm Baron.
Yeah, I grew up thinking that Mick was derogatory. So what is the history with it? Like
It's just a nickname for, like, if it's like how I call creepy Seamus.
So it'd be like if somebody was
Like,
named Mickey.
well, it's a Irish shorthand for Michael,
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
It's we just like we'd call someone, like you'd say in America you might call someone called Michael Mikey.
We got Mick
We call him
here
Mick
too. Yeah.
Yeah. And same with Paddy would be a shorthand for Patrick.
That's just such a stupid derogatory term that's not even bad.
Yeah. But Americans like to call the Irish paddies, but I think they only get that because of St. Patrick's Day. So they, they say St. Patty's Day, and they just think calling us paddies is a derogatory term.
No, it sounds cool.
Whatever, but yeah, it's a name.
I'd rather Patty over some other things. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to insult an Irishman, I think, because I mean, you've seen how myself and Creepy there interact in the Discord. Like, we'd say things to each other, just taking the piss, that if I'd said to anybody else in the Discord, people would be really offended.
Yeah.
But I mean, myself and Creepy, we just fucking go for it. And it's just, I don't know, it's just how Irish lads in particular, it's just how Irish lads
they show their love by being mean to each other.
Yeah.
Sounds like me and my friends. Sounds like good guys. I like it. Just bust each other's balls. Now we're onto an important topic. What are the Irish women like?
My missus left the room, so I'll go first.
I
don't know. What regard?
Well,
I know Creepy's not going to be very chatty here now because Rosie's probably watching the shit.
No, I mean, like, how are they in terms of like their demeanor? Like, are they naggy? Are they loving? Are they family oriented? Are they
I'll tap 1 3 yes twice for now.
All right, we're gonna
how
do
are
a
American women?
Check out the YouTube video for Creepy's nose touching. American women are like, I don't know. It's
exactly
all over the gambit.
It differs from person to person.
Yeah. I guess it's just looking at it from a smaller island country versus like because I mean the United States. The missus is back.
Huh?
The U.S. has like the U.S. almost has like different biomes. No, whatever. But the U.S. The U.S. has like different biomes almost in a sense where it's like there's a desert, there's fucking Arctic, there's summer all year round, and people change versus that. And I'm thinking like with the smaller nation, maybe the people around have more of a solidified, unified way of acting. That's That's just the way I thought of it. Like, I'm not saying like within different, like with the provinces or whatever, you guys, everybody acts the same, but
I think there's a stigmatism with Irish women that women kind of in the country would be a bit more prudish.
okay.
And women in Dublin are a lot more slutty.
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 Slutty with an H.
Yeah.
So do a lot of Irish women have that religious background where they are very prude? That you've noticed?
I wouldn't say so.
No.
Not of our
No.
generation, I reckon.
No.
No.
Okay.
I
that
mean,
makes
people are
sense.
people everywhere.
Right. It's good to know. I'm glad. People are people everywhere. What do you guys think about Americans?
I mean, again, if we go into stereotypes and shit, I
wanna
think you
hear
know
it.
what we're gonna say.
Yep.
Like, there's especially it seems to be the ones that make their way over here are the
Yeah.
loudest, fattest, most arrogant, ignorant bastards that crawl out of America.
I'm raising my hand.
But I mean, there is that conception, not even in Ireland, but just throughout the world, that Americans are dumb, slack-jawed yokels.
Right.
But I mean, on the flip side, I've met plenty of Americans, and I mean, I've met a lot of Americans through Elite. I've met a good few Americans just through my own personal life, and I mean, I can honestly say, of all the Americans I've met, maybe 2 or 3 of them fit that stereotypical description.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody in the Elite, before you ask.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I mean, honestly, I like hearing it. If we could get some names called out, go ahead and throw them out there. I'm sure it would go great for content ratings here. Oops. Oops, you're a slack-jawed American.
he's an Amishman.
Yeah,
Don't get
Yeah.
it twisted.
the Amish.
But
from
like,
Pennsylvania.
there's the stereotype of like Americans being like thick as pig shit, basically. But
Mhm.
I mean, you're living proof of the former, Matty. You're fairly, you're articulate and well spoken, and with the exception of the accent, you wouldn't even know you were an American.
Well, until you see, I have. Let's see. We're gonna hide the guns. You guys will never know. What are some things about American culture that baffle you? That just is surprising.
Well, you just mentioned it there.
The
The
guns,
guns.
yeah.
The guns.
I think that baffles
Absolutely, the
everybody
guns.
and baffles a lot of Americans too because of where we
Yeah.
are.
Like in Ireland, we have a lot of gun crime,
Yeah.
but it's generally very localized to criminals. Like,
yeah, crime on
Well,
crime.
You
they
wouldn't,
are,
like,
they are
you know,
typically
and-
the kind of people who commit crimes, Seamus. Yeah.
yeah, okay, yes. See, this is how we communicate.
Yeah.
No, but like in America, like I'm pretty sure Foops told me a story of someone kept shoveling the snow onto their neighbor's yard.
That happened where I grew up.
Yeah.
And the neighbor came out and shot the neighbor.
Yeah. So to give you guys a background on that story,
Husband and wife.
yeah, the husband and wife. This is right next to where I grew up. So I grew up near Scranton, Pennsylvania, and this was very close. The story was that there was this couple who never got along with this neighbor, and apparently the couple was unfortunately kind of, they were bullying this guy a lot. Lo and behold, one day they get into an argument when he's shoveling snow, like Creepy said, and over and over again the guy gets offended. They're busting his balls. He goes and grabs a pistol, I think a Glock. He comes out, and then they're telling him to shoot them, like shoot us. And in the moment, this adrenaline hits. Boom! The guy shot him. He shot him pretty close to death, and then went back in his house for round 2, grabbed an AR-15, I believe, a rifle, came out and executed them. And that's the kind of shit that when you put the American flag over it, that a lot of countries say, gun violent nation. But anyway, that's the backstory of that, and you guys heard of it. Like, what would you think about that? That sounds obscene to you, right? Like something that would never happen.
Yeah, I mean, like Creepy said, there's a lot of there is gun crime in Ireland,
Right.
but it's generally like members of one gang shooting at members of another gang. It's very, very unheard of for something like that to happen, where like one civilian pulls out a gun and fucking blasts another civilian away because he looked at him funny, or
Right.
yeah, like I'm even trying to think of the last shooting I heard of in Ireland. Now I don't really keep up with the news or anything, so
I don't
I'd
think there's
say-
been anything in like
The great Nerf
30
war of
years.
Galway.
But yeah, I mean, there was up in Dublin, there was this gang war kicking off a couple of years ago. I think that's quieting down a bit now.
But again,
But,
that's just two gangs, two
yeah.
criminal gangs against each other. Like it's
And it got very bad in Limerick, my hometown. Oh, maybe 10 years ago or so.
Yeah.
In one, not even in across the city, but in one specific estate, say in Limerick City, a council estate. It's Moyross is the name of the place. Not even an estate. What would you call it?
yeah, you call it like in America. I don't know what they would call like a housing station.
Exactly.
Like, you know,
It's a residential area.
Right.
residential
Yep,
area.
yep, yep.
But yeah, there was I can't even think of the names of the families now, but it doesn't even matter. But that's the thing, like when it's gangs in Ireland, they're typically families. Like there's a couple of big gang families in Limerick,
Okay.
and they are literally, it's not like the mafia and it's, you know, loads of different people, and it typically is a family of people versus another family of people, and typically they're killing each other over stupid shit, which I mean, arguably they all do.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a big war going on between two gang families in Limerick about 10 so years ago, to the point where the ERU branch of the military, the Emergency Response Unit, had to be called into Moyross.
Wow.
And at the time, I was actually friends with a lad who lived in Moyross. And I remember one day I was driving him home. It was fairly late. It was like 1 or 2 in the morning. And we entered Moyross, and I was early 20s, I'd say, driving a shitty, beat up little Opel Corsa. And we pulled into you pull off the main road into Moyross. And within 20 seconds, there was an army jeep right up my arse, lights flashing, fucking telling us to pull over. And we pulled over. 4 lads with rifles jump out of the car and start, I mean, jump in military uniform, whatever, jump out of the car. And like in Ireland, to see 4 lads with rifles, that's a fairly fucking intimidating sight, whether or not they're military.
Right.
So these lads come over, and I mean, I was doing nothing wrong. I was doing nothing illegal. I was literally dropping a friend home.
You thought the British wanted to take the rest of it?
Hit myself.
Yeah, because we wouldn't even see like weapons that close up usually.
Yeah. And then I'd 4 lads. Now they weren't pointing the guns at us or anything, but they were, they were making their presence known. And one of them came over then, and he like comes over to the window. I roll down the window. I was like, yeah. What are you doing? Dropping him home. And he's straight down, flashlight in your man's face. Where'd you live? And your man rattled off his address. And he was like, right, if I don't see you in the next 10 minutes, I'm coming looking for you.
Wow.
So he basically saying, go in, do your business, get out.
Yeah.
Because it was like there were people being shot dead in the streets of Moyross at the time. Like my friend at the time was telling me stories. Like he'd be up late at night watching telly, and he'd hear gunshots going off 2 streets over. And it got to the point where he would literally, like, he'd just turn up the TV, scooch down in his couch to avoid any stray bullets, and he'd just go about his business.
Learn to live with the bullets. Insane.
The horrible thing, though, is that sort of thing would be very common in a lot of American cities.
Yeah, big cities near the, unfortunately near the impoverished areas. There's a lot of gun violence, and people, like what Baron said, that you live with the bullets. There's drive-bys, there's shootings outside, bullets come in through the house and kill you. You're not even part of it.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate to hear. But it is also interesting to hear how serious the emergency response unit took care of trying to get it in order, where we kind of just forget about that area. It's gone to post-nuclear, like, just, so I mean that's good to hear. I mean, that's amazing to me. I could just imagine what was going through your head, like the British are trying to take over the rest of the country. Here they come.
They're back again, lads.
I mean, even like I knew the ERU were patrolling the area and stuff, but the last thing I expected was to be pulled over and 4 lads with rifles jump out and come over and question me.
Right. I couldn't imagine. Oh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean that's incredible. I think all in all, like just hearing about what differs between us, and what the foundation of your cultural identity is, the heritage of the Irish people, and the way that we look at it from the outside without kind of seeing it from your perspective of, we have these amazing architectural feats of our history that we build around, that we preserve. We have a great mentality towards each other and building these relationships with jokes and happiness, I would say, without a serious tone. The only
Just don't call us British.
just don't call you guys British.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I disliked, and I told Creepy this before we got on the call, was in a big city, when I was in Dublin or in certain weird areas, like I'd have to pay to use the public bathroom, and I was floored. I was amazed by that. So that was the only thing that I never liked about Ireland. Sorry, guys. Socialist bathrooms scare me.
I mean, I wouldn't use a public bathroom anyway. So,
I wouldn't either. You couldn't pay me to use one here. Speaking of that, guys, here's an anecdote. So I took a shit in Barnes & Nobles the other day. Oh my god. I didn't put down toilet paper. I think I need to get a Q-tip up my ass and in my dick hole just to be sure. I might have a brain-eating bacteria and syphilis at the same time. So yeah, watch out for public bathrooms. Maybe it is good to pay for them, because then they can at least pay to clean them.
Yeah.
Well, that's the theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
some paid bathrooms in Galway that you go to and you think twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only on this podcast. Only on this podcast where you hear about the IRA and taking a shit in Barnes & Nobles at the same time.
Yeah. Aren't they the same thing?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you guys this. So Americans have certain drinks, they call the Irish Carabao. Do you guys take offense to that?
Irish Carabao. Oh my god.
Creepy, you didn't know about this?
No.
You drop some Jameson in a Guinness.
Yeah. That's good. You actually have a drink over there called the Irish Carabao.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guinness and Jameson.
Jameson, you drop a shot of Jameson with the glass into the Guinness and you chug it.
Is that in Irish bars or?
No, that's in any bar. You can get an Irish Carabao. It was so funny when I found out about, obviously what an Irish Carabao symbolized, and I was thinking to myself, am I gonna go over to? I shouldn't order that in Ireland, right? People shouldn't order that drink.
That's like us over here if we named a drink the Confederate flag. Here, give us a Confederate flag drink.
You're gonna get a fucking drink with just like the 9/11 vodka mixer.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Creepy's reaction to that drink says it all. Like, I mean, we're not easily offended. I think the only people who would be offended by something like that are people who were tied to the Troubles and maybe like new victims of some bombings or something. I think that'd be the only people in the country who would actually get offended.
Oh yeah, and rightfully so. It's just interesting how we grew up with it just being like, what is this? Why is it called the Irish Carabao? Oh well, Stephanie, get me 2 Irish Carabao.
Head over to Belfast there and you'll soon find out.
We'll send Stephanie over to Belfast, guys. Can we get Stephanie to order some Irish Carabaos there? One last thing, guys, before we wrap it up. Can you give me your best American accent? Creepy, don't do the Southern thing again. Don't you dare.
Why?
No, do it. It's okay.
Are you going to give us your best Irish?
I think I will. I think I'll do it right now. What's the crock? Potatoes.
Right, so if we're going to go if we're going to go stereotypical, yeah. If you're gonna go stereotypical,
it's alright. I did it for Flemma last week, where it was doing like the sex as the British guy, like there we are, bravo, excellent, yes.
Bravo. I don't know. Here, Cletus.
God damn it! I was gonna go Cletus.
Cletus, get the guns. Get your sister.
That's my sister wife right there.
Hey, Ma, get off the dang roof.
Why is my mom on the roof?
It's not about true love. It's about kissing your sister.
Family ties.
Yeah.
That made my day. That was amazing. Good job, guys. Do you have any other things that I might have missed? Anything you want to share with the world about Ireland? with being a content creator, just as a nation as a whole. As a whole, the nation is a whole, a literal whole.
As a whole.
Um, not really.
No.
No stories about Angela's ashes
We're
or
just-
anything. No.
We're just
No.
very easygoing people.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's what I
Up
do
their ass, fuck
like.
the Brits, you know.
What are the Irish? What do you guys think of the Scots?
Got that. Sorry, what was that?
What do you think of the Scots? Ugh.
Ah,
I
the
don't
fucking
mind.
grand.
I don't mind the Scots.
Yeah.
Scots are fine.
Yeah.
Scots are cool.
Guys
Yeah,
used to
apparently
always.
Apparently, the
used to-
Scottish are originated from the Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So technically, when Kai's was trying to troll me, calling me a Scot, I know I kind of fought back at it, but I didn't mind it as much if he called me English.
So if you had to choose between a Scotsman and an Englishman, you'd choose the Scotsman.
Oh yeah,
Suck it,
Scotsman
Clemens.
all the way.
Take that in your lines. I'm gonna cut into them.
I mean, honestly, I don't think. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, there are morons out there who just have it bred into them, like fuck the British and all this stuff. But
Yeah.
I think for the most part, most Irish people. I mean, what I often say to people who are pissy about like 1916 and the English invasion of Ireland or whatever, an occupation of Ireland, it's like I'll generally ask them, "What do you think of the Danish?" And when they get confused, they'll say, "Well, the Vikings came from fucking Denmark, and they did a lot more damage to our country than the British did. So go get pissy with the fucking Danes if you want to get pissy with anybody."
Right. Like I said, people that
But I
just
mean-
jump on a bandwagon to hate.
Yeah, like there are people who genuinely hate the British, and they'll sit there watch the fucking the English Premiership while drinking their fucking British teas and
I think
watching Sky Sports and screaming about how they hate the British. Like,
I think I have a bit of a different experience because I lived in England,
Well, let's hear it.
and I experienced living there as a paddy. So I think that's where a little bit of my resentment comes from. But I mean, I don't hate England. I just don't like some of the people who live there.
What happened? Tell me. What was it like? Your experience living there as a paddy?
You're just like, you're the Irish paddy. You're the Irishman. You looked in certain circles of England. If you were to work there and live there, you would be looked down on.
So you're a token, pretty much, the Irish guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're the Irish guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Looked down on. So like I know, like back in the day, they had signs up even in America that were pretty much derogatory, like no Irish, no work. So, like, what was that? Similar in England, where they look down on the Irish?
No. I mean, not nowadays, no. But it's just it's cultural, like
Right.
They look down on you because they bet you up 800 years ago, kind of thing,
Oh, God damn it.
but I mean, there'd be similar people in Ireland as well who, if
Who hate
an
the
Englishman
British.
came along, they'd
Yeah.
look down on them and,
Yeah.
we fucking kicked your arses out of here 100 years ago.
Yeah. So it goes
It's like-
both ways.
Yeah, it's fucking history. I just don't understand why people can't let history be fucking history.
I agree with you.
I don't really have to say. I mean, I'm sure you know what that's like with all this fucking rise of the Confederacy again.
Oh yeah, the funniest thing in the world. Like I don't even know how to get into it, but without cheering for the loser that's already lost, that is all about putting somebody else down. Yeah, go for it, man. Put it on your bumper sticker or whatever. Idiot. But yeah, I know how you feel. Like, let sleeping dogs lie. It's all in the past. Like, why can't we all just exemplify the beauty of humanity now? But hey, what? Whip open a history book, have some fun. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, like most rational Irish and English people, I think bear no animosity towards the others.
No, rational people wouldn't. Not at all.
Yeah.
That goes for anybody. And I love it. I'm glad that as a world, I would say we're becoming more united, I think, but only because of the possibilities of social media and things like Discord and shit. People are able to reach across the pond, so to speak. With that said, I'd like to thank you guys. I'd like to thank Creepy and Baron for taking the time out of their day to talk to us about their motherland, the Great Ireland. And I'm thrilled that I got to learn a little bit about don't you dare raise your eyebrows at me. I'm glad I got to learn a little bit about my heritage because, being Irish and Polish, I don't ever get to hear, at my generation, stories about the countries that my relatives came from. So it's cool to hear about these things. And I appreciate it. So, guys, all the listeners out there, thank you so much for taking your time to listen to Culture Shock from the Elite Podcast, to hearing about the great country of Ireland and our guests today. We'll obviously be back in a couple weeks with another area to poke fun at and see what we can learn about, weird histories. Apparently Ireland has the biggest fucking ring in the world, so hopefully it's not if it was a Japanese ring, you'd be waiting for a girl with black hair to come out, but it's not.
No.
This is a bye-bye from the Elite. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Until next time.